Hi, friends. Let's talk about how to have proper mental rest without feeling guilty. Hi, I'm Shikah, and I'm a former counselor, and I create done for you lead magnets and workbooks for coaches. In this video, I share advice and tips for proper mental rest, which worked for me when I was on the verge of burnout 2 weeks ago. You can modify and share these tips with your audience or clients in your content, or you can choose to apply these tips for yourself if you feel like you are reaching burnout. Let's get to the topic. Why did I choose quote unquote mental rest instead of physical rest or emotional rest? Well, you will realize that when your mind is thinking, racing, or brainstorming during your rest days can feel completely wasted. And you will end up feeling just as confused or exhausted, foggy brained, and just as restless or directionless as when you are having a stressful day. We have to somehow slow down our racing minds and calm them down before we can enjoy this sweet experience of having a true day off. The first tip I have is to consume content which is a 180-degree turn from your work or from your business. If you are a coach, you don't watch or read self improvement videos and books on your rest days. For example, when I was approaching burnout 2 weeks ago, I binge watched house decorating videos, makeup tutorials, hairstyling tutorials, esoteric content such as psychic readings, videos on how to live your life more intuitively, basically really out there stuff. And I also read many fiction books, romantic comedy books which I rarely have the time to read on most days. So the content I consumed during my healing from burnout days was 100% not related to my business at all. Like I mentioned, I create done for you materials for coaches. So I consciously avoided all forms of personal development content on my day off. This tip works for your clients if they need a concrete, tangible, logical, and actionable suggestion on how to have proper mental rest on their days off. Another tip I have is to indulge and rest for a few days without guilt if you need to. Many of us will naively think that having just one day off is enough to recover from the start of burnout or from burnout itself. But from my experience, at least for myself, I will need at least 2 days to recover from my burnout and get motivated to work again. I'm lucky in the sense that 2 or 3 days of proper mental rest is sufficient for me to get excited about my business again, because I have heard of business owners who need months of recovery before they can even touch their laptops or read emails again. You have to know your nervous system and your mental health as well, very intimately, and come face to face with how your mind and your body work. Working with your mind and body instead of against it is going to help you so much better in recovery. Does that mean that you may feel frustrated that you need 1 week of rest instead of just one day off? Well, maybe you will. However, working with your body will ensure that you have a much speedier recovery. At this point in the video, you may be wondering how you can support and help your clients identify if they are stressed out and lacking self care. Well, that's why I want you to download my free self care audit, which you can use as a lead magnet to grow your email list. And all you have to do is click the link in my description box below to get the copy for free. So, with that out of the way, let's move on to the next tip I have to share with you regarding having proper mental rest. The next tip I have for you to have proper mental rest is to spend time, quote unquote, being instead of quote unquote, doing. What does that mean? It just means that we have to be more present in the moment, present in our body, present with your thoughts, and present with your emotions. And it does sound like it's a lot to do. Actually, being present recharges our energy like no other activity does. I did a mistake when I was resting for my burnout. I decided to escape my ruminating and racing thoughts by doing tasks and chores. Instead of accepting that my mind was racing and actively looking for activities which calm my nervous system, I started doing household chores on my day off. On my quote unquote rest day, what I did was I did the laundry, I vacuumed the floors, I baked brownies, I cooked dinner. I even created Pinterest pins for my business because in my head, creating Pinterest pins is a creative endeavor and it's a relaxing thing to do. Well, it is a relaxing thing to do when I'm not on the verge of burnout, but doing anything remotely work related when you are on the verge of burnout is not relaxing at all. It's a big mistake, actually. Anyway, my reasoning for doing tasks instead of being present with my thoughts on my rest day was at least I get to escape my thoughts by doing things and being productive that day. So it was a very big mistake, like I mentioned, because the next day I fell into a full blown burnout. Thankfully, it took me just a couple of days to recover from that, but I learned my lesson. So spend more time being with yourself instead of trying to escape your thoughts and escaping yourself when you are burnt out or stressed out. You can experience being in the moment with activities which, number one, stop your racing thoughts, and number two, which make you feel positive emotions. Some examples are meditation, working out, running, hiking, creating something with your hands, cooking, crafting, visualizing, reconnecting with your hobby, which is hopefully not tech related, getting in touch with your spiritual self. So these are some activities which you can do to be more connected with your being and to be more present in the moment and reduce your burnout and heal your burnout. Let me know if you have ideas on activities which can slow down racing thoughts in the comments below. Another tip I have for proper mental rest is to add joy back into your life. In our busyness with running a business, or if your clients have demanding 9 to 6 jobs, it is easy for us to ignore and forget joy. Joy even seems like an indulgence, and some people think it's not a need at all. However, human beings need joy in our lives. We do not come into this world to suffer, to sacrifice, or lead joyless lives. There is no point in living a life like that. Anyway, I don't have to even elaborate on the importance of having more joy and doing activities which trigger joy in you. It can be as quote unquote indulgent as spending time alone with a good book in a cafe, or binge listening your favorite podcast episodes, dancing or listening to your favorite music, eating your favorite food, cooking your favorite food, exploring the city as though you are a tourist, creating art, visualizing your dream reality, and other activities like that. Basically, get creative. Now you know the tips on how to have proper mental rest, but you may not know how to coach your clients to prioritize self care and mental rest. So if that's you, you can check out my ready to launch and done for you self care masterclass, which you can launch and sell to your clients. You can conduct the masterclass once via Zoom, and then you can sell the recordings on your website. So that's how you can create a more passive income stream in your coaching business. It is so much easier to have someone who is experienced in the self improvement field, which is me, to write your coaching materials for you. You feel good knowing that you're offering coaching materials which work, and you can take your time off to focus on servicing your clients, marketing your business, or doing other things which bring you joy and give you self care. So, the link to purchase this done for you self care masterclass is in my description box. And if you want me to create a custom lead magnet for you to grow your email list, you can see the full details such as pricing and the scope of work from my website, also linked in the description box. Thank you and see you in my next episode. Goodbye.